The sketch is the foundation of almost everything that we do in Inventor. Every part that you create is probably going to start with a sketch. Here I drew a rectangle 2 inches by 1.5 inches. Finished that sketch, created an extrusion 1 inch thick. Then I created another sketch on the front of it, 1 inch diameter, circle on the front, and then another extrusion to cut all the way through. And perhaps the most important fundamental concept regarding sketches is that they need to be fully constrained. Take a look at the rectangle that I used as the basis for this part. Down here in the corner, we can see that this sketch is fully constrained. So now we have to ask the question, what does that mean? Why does it matter? And what happens if our sketch is not fully constrained? So let's take a quick look at sketch constraints, see what they are and see why they matter. Let's start a new part. Start a new sketch, pick a plane, and I'm going to draw a line. Now take a look at this line. I can click on the end of the line, I can change the angle, I can change the length, I can click on the line itself and move it around. This line is not constrained at all. Down here it tells us there are 4 dimensions needed. I'll point out right now that doesn't necessarily mean I need to put 4 dimensions on there, but it means I need to add some constraints to restrict how this line can move. Take a look up here in this area that says constrain. On the left side here we have dimension, which we could call a dimensional constraint. In the middle we have some settings that we will deal with later. Don't worry about that right now. And over here on the right we have all these strange little symbols, which is what we call geometric constraints or simply constraints. Rather than saying dimensional constraint and geometric constraint, we generally just say dimension and constraint. So let's take a look at some of what's up here. Don't worry about all the symbols right now. We'll dig into those later. I just want to kind of show how this works and what we need to do to fix this line so that it's not so free to move. First thing I want to do is go up here. This is the horizontal constraint. When I click on the horizontal constraint button, come click on the line. See, now I have that little symbol on my line that says this line is horizontal. So if I try to move it, I can move it up and down. I can still change the length, but it is constrained. It is locked to be horizontal. Notice what happens down here. Now it just says there are 3 dimensions needed. Now that I have it horizontal, I do want to add a dimension. Let's put a dimension on it. Just click dimension, click the line. Let's make it 2 inches long. So now I can move it around still. I cannot change the length, and I'm down to 2 dimensions needed. Let's see what we can do with this. Now let's add a dimension. Suppose I want it off the origin. I want it 1 inch up. Getting better. Now I have 1 dimension needed. Let's see, I can now move this thing left to right. I cannot move it up and down. I cannot change its angle. All I can do is move it back and forth. So I'm going to do 1 more constraint here, and I'm going to use a vertical constraint. I'm going to slide along here till I find the midpoint of this line. Click on the midpoint, come down here to the origin. I added 1 last constraint, and now this sketch is fully constrained. Of course, this by itself doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So let's come in here, add a few more, sketch in a few more lines, but look at what I've done. I didn't get them exactly vertical and horizontal. So I'm going to come in here, do a few more constraints. Let's do a vertical constraint here. Let's look at this corner down here. Maybe I want to add a perpendicular constraint down here so that locks in these 2 lines. Now the only thing that's left that I can do is drag this bottom line up and down. So I'm going to add a dimension this time. Let's make this thing overall 2 inches. Down here we have, now that we are fully constrained, all of the geometry has turned black. I cannot click and drag anything. So this sketch is fully constrained. Keep in mind, as I've done this is not necessarily how I would go about drawing a square. It's just to illustrate what these constraints can do. So now we need to ask, why does this matter so much? You may have noticed I've got two parts down here. One I have called bad and one I call good. Let's take some measurements. Let's measure this edge. That edge is 1.5 inches. From that edge to the center is 1 inch. From the center of that circle up to the top is 0.750, 3/4 of an inch. And then let's measure to the back. That is 1 inch. This is the good part with those measurements. Now let's go over here and take a look at the bad part. Let's measure from the edge, which is 1.5 inches, to the middle, 1 inch. Up to the top, that's 750, and to the back, that is 1 inch as well. Everything is precise. Everything matches between these two parts. But we need to take a look at why this is the bad part and the other one is the good part. Let's go over here to the first sketch that I created. This sketch, as you can see, is not fully constrained. It tells me there are 2 dimensions needed. Let's finish that sketch for now. I'm going to leave it like it is. Go look at the second sketch. Here we have the circle sketched on center, but it as well tells me there are 2 dimensions needed. So let's go back and look, see what happens. What if I go in here, or somebody else comes along and edits my part, and these things are not nailed down. These things are free to move, and somebody clicks and drags that top line, and it moves. Finish that sketch. Now let's see what happens. My first sketch was not fully constrained. My second sketch was not fully constrained. And now the part is broken. Let's go and look at the good part. This sketch, fully constrained. Everything is on center. It's nailed down. It tells me it is fully constrained. Go look at the circle in the second sketch. It is nailed down to the origin, which is right in the middle of that part. See, that is a coincident constraint symbol that pops up right there. So this sketch is fully constrained. So now when I come back here, if I change this, say make that 3, make that 2, finish this sketch, the hole is still on center, nothing falls apart. I can come in, make changes, make adjustments, get exactly what I want. That is the power of a fully constrained sketch. It ensures that you have exactly what you want, that you have all the right features at the right size, in the right place, and it protects you from unintentional changes like that. So if you are ready to learn more about constraints and how to use them, how to give yourself good results like this that update properly when you want to make changes and put you in complete control, keep from having bad things happen like this, then click on this next video and we can start to dive in to sketch constraints, what they mean, and how to use them. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.